Studio Series Gamer Edition has been not so good. Like, we had an amazing Optimus Prime, and then the Bumblebee wasn't that good. And Barricade, I never got, but I've heard he wasn't that good. And finally, we've gotten Gamer Edition Megatron, which I personally do not like that much. So, today we're going to take a look at the Studio Series Gamer Edition Megatron. Starting off in tank mode, it looks good enough to what he looked like in-game, but there's just some things about it I don't like. Like, having the treads being the hover configuration, like, I know they did that in the game, but it just doesn't look that good. Like, I don't think anyone would have complained if the treads were like facing the ground. I reckon that would have been fine. But other than that, I do like the spacey looking tank thing. Like, I don't usually like the space style Cybertronian vehicles, but this one here is kind of nice. Like, looking all around these panels, they're nice, they're detailed. I love this front grille section thing. They're, like, really spiky. For some reason, on my copy, I don't know if this is all copies, the fusion cannon tank barrel is pointed up when it's meant to be straight. I don't know if that's my copy specifically that does that, or if that's a universal thing. But it's just something that bugs me. And like, the arm back here doesn't really peg in anywhere, which does annoy me, but if I just don't touch it, it's fine. But yeah, otherwise it's a somewhat nice looking tank mode. And being a tank means Megatron gets some posability in tank mode, so all he has is rotation at the turret, as this specific way they've done it means he gets no up and down, but that's fine. He's a hovercraft anyway. If he wants up and down, he can just fly up or down. Megatron in tank mode looks somewhat nice, so I decided to take some pictures, so here they are. Transformation on Megatron here is something I don't really like, as it's just fold him out, pull him back together, but like, everything on him clashes on my copy, like it doesn't want to go in until I squeeze it into place, which is really annoying, and like, I just don't find this transformation fun, and by the end of it, it doesn't really give me a nice looking figure. Like, don't get me wrong, he looks nice, but the transformation to get there, I don't think was really worth it. Here we are in robot mode, and yeah, I have to admit, he does look pretty cool in this mode. Like, I love all the greeblings going down him, all these sharp angles. I like how they managed to get, like, mass shifting happening with his shoulder here, where it's meant to resemble the front of his tank mode. And moving down, it looks really nice. His head sculpt looks just like it did in the game. I love it. Now, the only part about Megatron here that I really don't like is these legs, as they're just a bunch of kibble panels. And the way they're designed means you can't really get any knee bend out of them. But I'll go into that a bit later. But I love how he looks, like this chest detail. I love how there's like purple highlights in there, and then the black vent detailings. I think that's what it is, and like the Decepticon badge looks amazing. I love the arm details and how they're asymmetrical, so they look different on both sides. I want to say I love the crotch detailing, but it is a bit strange. I don't quite know what I'm looking at in there. Now, moving around to the back, I don't like how he looks there, but that's because I need to put the kibble somewhere. It's something I can look past, but I would say I do miss having the Decepticon, like, back he had in the game. Otherwise, he looks real nice. The biggest flaw of this figure, though, is the way the knees are designed, as they have this random tab on the back here that prevents the knees from going more than one click back. Now, I could always go in with a piece of, like, some pliers, clippers, and remove it, but I shouldn't really have to. Like, this thing should have been, like, taken out when they realized the flaw. Now, I don't think this is the designer's fault for it, as I understand factories and facilities, right? There's always, like, one person that can make any changes at any time. That's just how I understand it. I'm not sure if that's how it actually happened. But I don't think this tab here is from the designers. But it's the biggest flaw of this figure, as it really prevents articulation. Articulation-wise is actually quite nice for Megatron, aside from the knees. Starting off, you got a swivel at the head, and if you pop it off of the ball joint a little, you've got some up and down. The arms can go all the way around and 90 out to the side. They're double jointed in the elbows, and they have some elbow swivel. There's a waist swivel. Legs are super unimpeded in all directions, to the point where you can get them all the way up to the side, which I quite like. The knees have that single bend, but then if you untransform them or clip off that tab, they can get a deep bend. And there's a foot pivot, which is quite a little nice, I guess. Accessory-wise, Megatron comes with his fusion cannon, which can peg onto the side of his arm, or if you take that arm off, it can peg directly into that arm's port to mimic how it looked in the game. Personally, I like having it on his, on the side of his arm, as that's how I like my Megatrons. And he also comes with his Energon mace thing that can only be held at the end of the staff part. I don't like how they did this here, as there's so much extra, like, of the stick part that he could grab onto, but the way it's designed means he can only hold on to the end, which I don't really like. Or you could really just plug it into that fusion cannon port using this peg on the side. But otherwise, it is a nice accessory. I just don't really like it. But Megatron looks kinda good, so I just had to give him some poses, so here they are. This has been the review for the Transformers Studio Series Gamer Edition War for Cybertron Megatron. Tell me, what do you think of this figure? Do you like him? Did you pick him up? Or did you skip him entirely? Personally, I wish I would have skipped him, as I don't really like him as is. That knee issue is the main thing, but then there's some other things about him that I didn't get much into that I didn't like. But altogether, it's really just up to you. Personally, I'd say skip him, but if you want him, pick him up. Thanks for watching.